Now, what I like to do is turn these layers off. Well, not the ISBN, it needs to remain, but if you can turn them on and off. Now, this is why I do that. Now, let's make a text. Let's just say my book. Of course, you can't see it because it's set to white, so let's change it to black, something we can read. Let's for ease of use, let's just change it to some kind of blocky kind of font. How about Copperplate? That's nice and blocky. And we will go to, let's see, let's bring it on up. You can work in very high resolutions in book covers, so let's work it on up to 110. Now, it doesn't cover the entire space, but the beauty of making your safeties is you can select the safety, makes this whole area selected inside the safety so you know it's not going to mess anything up. Then you go to let's see, under layers, of course. Okay, if you assign horizontal centers, that will center this text inside your safety area, so you don't have to worry about aligning everything by eye. If you center it to the safety area, you will basically achieve that. There's a little bit of trim on this side, and there's a little bit outside the safety for the bleed area before the fold. That's what these blue lines in by the spine are. There's the fold lines. So putting it inside of the safety area, make sure it's centered inside the safety area. You make sure that none of the title is going to get cut off and that it's safe from folding and etc. So we put my book there. Something that I like to do is transform my cover titling to free transform, and I'll just kind of stretch it on out to the safety area. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I leave a little bit anyway to be careful with. And you can make it as tall or whatever that you like. Just make sure you stay inside of the pink lines, and it'll apply, and it's nice and tall. And that really helps to make the cover kind of stand out. You know, if you wanted to do your name below, then we could do it like so. And a little bit of a misspelling there, but that's okay. If that's your name, then do whatever. But you can separate that as well. Free transform the name out to the edges, and it will snap in place as well if that's what you want it to do. And we can make that nice and tall, and we can type in the last name below that and free transform the last name all the way over so that it kind of will rest on top of that like a famous certain author that we know usually does. Okay, now same thing with the spine wording. You can put on there my book by author, and you will transform and rotate 90 degrees clockwise. That will bring it over, turn it to the side, and just select all of it if you haven't already changed the font size because it doesn't fit. Make sure you get everything in there, and we'll change it on down to 60 because this is a very wide spine for a book. We have plenty of room to work with. So control select the spine safety, and we can go to layers again and assign layers, assign horizontal centers, make sure it's centered, and we can go to assign layers to selection and vertical centers to make sure that it's centered. Looks like we got lucky this time, and it was pretty much snapped into the center there. Now on the back copy, let's just say a great book. and we'll reduce that on down to about 12, and we'll say it's excellent. I know you can't probably read that, but that's fine. We'll just repeat it out a few times. Repeat it on out a few times. Now we will take the control selection of the back cover and assign layers to selection horizontal centers, and we'll need to play with the text just a little bit, or you can draw a box with your text tool to give it limits and bounds and things like that. You can further justify the text or however you want it to it, and we can probably go over that in a little future tutorial with this. This is fine for right now. Alright, and if you want to move the text north or south before you align it properly, let's just move this on out so that it gets some contrast to whenever we actually do the alignment. Now let's select the control, click the back safety so that we have that selection selected, and we will assign vertical center. So it puts it perfectly inside the center of the safety area for you, and then you can click off. And if you want to align it up or down, if you want it in the perfect center, you can do the same thing, align vertical centers, but let's say we want this to appear closer to the top. So you can hold shift and it will snap into position along the same y-axis that you originally had. So you can play with it, put it wherever you want. Now for the ISBN, let's say that we bring it to the corner-ish area here. And it can snap into position to kind of line it up with the end of the "It's Excellent" period at the top, the back copy. And let's say we want to make a more interesting background. We can go to the zoom all the way in and go to the guidelines, and we will select the actually we will not select inside of the pink but inside of the blue. So you want to extend all the way to the trim line but not beyond, because we don't want to waste a bunch of ink dousing the entire thing with ink. So let's go on down to the corner. It's being a little twitchy today, and we will fill this with well, first we will put it in a new layer, and then we will fill it with black for now. So let's view at fit on screen, and we'll put that behind everything else, just above the white background layer that brings all this other things out that Lightning Source would like to have on the cover. And we can do some interesting things here. Now, and you can control click to select the layer. We'll do that, and we will rename the layer cover background. And let's do something cool with it. Let's say we want a gradient. So we'll right click the paint bucket tool, hit gradient, and we'll just do a nice Christmassy theme across the whole thing. Oops, we forgot to select it. So select it first and then do your gradient across. And that puts everything inside of there. If you notice, you have a little hard time seeing the guidelines, but that's okay. The guidelines will not be on your finished product. So now we have a pretty awesome cover. We have my book by Mr. Stephen King also on the spine, and we have some endorsements on the back. Now I'm going to pause for a moment, and we will come back. We'll come back and we will explore how to export this into a PDF format that Lightning Source would really like to publish and print for. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And until next time, happy publishing.